What an idiot! Look at this loser, guys.
Now we're live.
Freaking
Now we're
moron.
going.
Namaste.
I
Greetings.
regret everything.
Yes. Greetings, everybody. Namaste. I'm glad you're here. I already did this, but she forgot to do the recording, so it's screwed up.
I didn't forget. It was delayed.
She wanted you to look like an idiot. That's what she wanted.
Yeah, she wanted. Yeah.
Plan.
See,
It's what I
send
do.
something in chat saying how you pity me.
Welcome back.
Hi. Is it my turn?
It's your turn.
Yes.
Take it
recap.
away.
Take it away.
My recap. Alright, so continuing with the party's restless evening, Mahi attempts to recover from his experience of battling with his inner conflict, and the sword avenges his desire to control him. Pythavin collects herself in her room and begins her trance for the evening. I'm gonna maximize this here. There we go. Tor continues her investigation after leaving Corlin's tower and Candlekeep, and knowing her way around, she reaches the Great Library and researches for hours all through the night. She discovers some history and lore behind a mysterious poison Pythavin has been inflicted by, dating its origins and variations and uses. Unfortunately, no direct cure aside from some experimentation with certain creature parts that have been used in the past for a similar plague. Late in study, however, she is found by one of the residents, a professor of evocation, and his name being the best name ever, Norman Fizzlebang, who initially thinking she was a student defying curfew, but eventually recognizes Tor from years ago. Tor recalls him as well, somewhat odd like herself, obsessed with explosions and fire spells, known to be somewhat of a loose cannon around the keep. Had a cousin somewhere, an inventor as well, it's rumored, back in Athkatla that he would talk about all the time. It's a little Easter egg for certain members of the group. But he was always supportive of her, and during her time there, he offers condolences on her mother's passing, which does cause Tor some confusion, being told a different story from Corlin. Norman confirms her mother was found within the catacombs beneath Candlekeep, ruled possibly an accident, possibly attacked by some creature or monster. Feeling as though he has fumbled his good intentions and reintroductions, he does offer what assistance he can and provides Tor with all the components she needs to complete her continual rituals and studies. As Tor gives up on finding a potential cure, she spends the rest of the evening practicing transcribing her spells in her spellbook, only to return back to Phandalin in the late morning. Meanwhile, Tavi attempts at compensating for his exhaustion. Started out with a nice and whimsical dream, but then his mind begins to wander to darker memories than he would have preferred to have left in the past. He watches glimpses of his early childhood, of his ancestral tribal home within the northern frosty mountains of the spine of the world. As he reminisces of a more playful and carefree time chasing the village goats, events take a turn for the worse, and then he watches as the fire giants attack his village, ultimately leading to its destruction. Survivors were then rounded up, taken prisoner within the fire giant's stronghold in Iron Slag. Dreams flash forward. Now Tavi is about 18 years old, and in his fighting prime after years of gladiatorial training for the fire giants movement. They set out on another challenge, being warned by the prison guard about the consequences for failure, as bets were being placed on the match. It then flashes to a victory, or rather more of a survival, standing in the midst of the arena, nearly ripped apart by a dead manticore laying at his feet, and the crowd of arena patrons roaring with applause, while probably overlooks the other bodies of other slaves that were not so lucky, strewn about the area floor. Time flashes by once more. Tavith is confining now his perspective from within the cell, and watches his younger self going through the daily routines. This becomes a ritual over and over again and again. Eventually, he is joined by other slaves in the cell, various dwarves, drow that were taken prisoner and used for fodder in the same barbaric pastime, but they ended up never returning, eventually being replaced with other fresh bodies over time. This leaving Tavi the reigning champion of that arena, more likely the sole survivor. Slightly older now, his dream stopped just a few weeks shy of his eventual escape from slavery, when a new group of combatants sharing his cell seemed to be equally resilient to himself, and unlike most of the preceding prisoners, they do survive their encounters in the arena. Talvith never really having the time to establish any relationships, however. And lost my place. Yeah, Talvith never having time to establish any relationships with his fellow cellmates, as most never lasted long enough to remember their names or their faces. But he did learn a little bit about this particular group of 3 female drows. Now, they called themselves the Zorlaren Sisters. Apparently, they were exiles from a prominent house within the Drow society in the Underdark, captured recently by the Fire Giants. The Giants were searching for some ancient pieces of a construct, an attempt to build a weapon that they could use against their immortal enemies, the dragons, and planned to use these slaves as agents for finding the location for these lost artifacts. One in particular was rumored to be buried near the town of Greenest, far to the southwest of Faerun. However, the Drow, along with a few others, had a plan for escape instead, rather than the Giants' intended uses for them. Talvith laughs skeptically at them at this thought, and as no one has succeeded in escaping before that time, but promises to act and assist should the opportunity arise. Another quick lapse of time goes through, and now Talvith sees through his own eyes, experiencing the night of his escape. He's surrounded by dead bodies and guards, the cells seemingly left open, and his hands are covered in blood. So he attempts to flee, and he's caught by a surviving Yak folk guard, big minotaur-looking fella, who begins to rush toward him. Talvith unarmed, but prepping himself for battle, and watches just before the Yaktar was within striking distance. A shadowy figure attacks from behind, dual-wielding a pair of homemade shivs, and assassinates his attacker. It is one of the Drow sisters, and she winks at Talvith as she stands behind the fallen guard. The sounds of other guards coming his way are heard in the distance. It draws his attention for just a moment, but as he turns back to flee, the Drow's already disappeared down the hall, possibly. Talvith seizes this moment, picks up the dead guard's maul. So, intro to that signature weapon, and then flees in the opposite direction, worming his way through the labyrinth of hallways until eventually he reaches the surface. He then, Dream takes him through his journeys towards the west coast, where he pulls himself back out of his younger body, and then he watches himself continue kind of to age throughout the years while he joins various other mercenary groups. His many other jobs and adventures he has flash on by him within minutes, leading to his most recent current events, some about 30 years later. This montage of visions stops briefly at the moments before Archer's death, in which he witnesses Virith wink in the same manner as that Drow he once knew so many years ago, right before she strikes the killing blow to his friend. In a final flash, he turns and sees the broken gates of the Dwarven temple, and turning back catches the same wink from the Drow she mounts the dragon to escape. And in that moment, he instantly awakes in his room with this revelation and a knocking at his door. It's Angela requesting that he watch Pyth as he searches for Tor, since Mahi was dealing with his own problems at the moment. Talvith takes a chair in the hallway, watches the door as vigilantly as he could, while pondering about the strange dreams, and eventually he nods off to sleep once more himself. Angelo's search for Tor concludes as he traces her footprints outside of the tavern around the corner, where he spies the remains of her teleportation circle, but not having any arcane knowledge on the matter, and hoping Tor will eventually return soon, he does head back to the inn, potentially waits in a chair by the front door, falling asleep not long thereafter. Pythavin awakes early that morning before anyone else and discovers the sleeping watchers, and she attempts to locate Tor herself, since the rest of the group is unavailable. But she is unable to find any trace of her. Instead, she then decides to wait for the cleric at the Shrine of Timor, hoping that Sister Grell might have the answers she needs in her current predicament. Dawn approaches and the small town comes to life. Pythavin does see Sister G approach, albeit confused at her visitor's presence. Pythavin asks for assistance, shows her the curse-scarred wounds. And the cleric attempts several healing spells, but to Pythavin's dismay, none were effective. Very inquisitively, the cleric asks and wonders how Pythavin contracted this curse in the first place. Requests that maybe she knows of one other way to help her, possibly 2 other ways to help her, but requests Pythavin to return later with the rest of her party. Pythavin then, of course, returns to the inn disappointed, but not before catching Tor trying to sneak back into the inn without anyone noticing she was gone, like a naughty teenager that's breaking curfew. Obviously failing at deception, but they do embrace anyway, despite Pythavin's worry. The group reconvenes for the morning. Angelo, Pyth, and Tor then have a secret meeting between each other, recapping all of the events. Tor explains her disappearance and her information she uncovered concerning the poison. The three confirm their suspicions about Corlin. I don't know why. He's totally the most upbeat guy in the world here. And even noticing that Tor herself is somewhat disillusioned now about her former mentor. But all are in agreement that Pythavin needs help first with her problem. Pythavin relays Sister G's request to speak with the group, and after breakfast, with a silent prayer to Tamora from Angelo, they venture off to the shrine. The cleric greets them, but in an attempt to discourage eavesdroppers, requests that they follow her for more private chat at the cleric's home down the road. She discusses recent events as they follow and take note of some various deeds the group had performed for the town, and eventually ending in a question on whether they knew who the great basket weaver was. Group admits to
She
hearing,
really got us killed.
the group, admits to hearing such a thing from their former partner Archer, but not convincing the cleric. As they enter her home, she immediately locks the door behind them and holds Pythavin hostage, demanding that they disclose their true intentions, who they work for. Her disguise spell fades, and what was once an elderly elven woman is now a much younger or much more hotness elf, revealing her true self. Shocked and defensively, the party tries to react, de-escalate the situation, and they finally do persuade the cleric that they have no evil intentions, nor are they minions of the Black Spider, as the cleric reveals her knowledge shortly thereafter. They were only involved in the first place, being hired to perform a simple escort job that has eventually led them to this personal vendetta they hold against the drow who took their friend's life, and maybe another if a cure cannot be found. The cleric backs down, confirms her occupation as a Harper agent, a secret group focused on balancing the various powers of the world. And she's been watching the group for a while now, but suspicious of their motives. She apologizes, now realizing that they pose no threat, and their involvement is by more coincidence than conspiracy. But mentioning she did have to be sure. She then begins to relay her mission. The Harpers are interested in finding the Forge, as well as having tracked the Black Spider's operations all the way from Athkatla, in the hopes that they can destroy this forge or any evidence leading to it, so that no other faction could unbalance the scales of power within the region. She alludes to knowing about Angelo, and even possibly hints at his past, but amidst the Harpers were interested in enlisting him into their ranks for the job that he performed in taking down the Thieves Guild that was operating in Athkatla. She claims the Harpers suspect that the same drow that has been confronting this group, known as Virith, Zorlaren, to be the Black Spider. Although evidence supports it could be a male rather than a female, Tavith interrupts at the mention of the name and admits that he possibly knew the drow from his past, relaying those memories of his dreams, which does rile the group up and spurn him for holding this information back until just now. How could you, Tavith? Mr. G goes on with questioning why the Black Spider has been so interested in the group, and the persistence why Virith is so interested in tracking them down, assuming they either know something about the Forge's location or they have something that the Black Spider wants. The group doesn't divulge any specific details with her, but she does implore to them that they need to do the right thing. Should they have more information by assisting her with the destruction of the Forge, regardless of any other faction's intentions, reiterating it is far too powerful for any one group to control. In the meantime, she offers advice for Pythavin's condition, and while she does not have the power or knowledge to cure, but perhaps there are others who may, she mentions an ally of the Harpers. This is a druid named Redoth, who lives nearby in the ruins of Thundertree up north, and he has extensive knowledge of pretty much everything within Neverwinter Woods. He's even ventured into the Underdark himself through some secret passageways that are hidden within the forest. Being a great herbalist himself, and he also has a special knack for herbal remedies and exotic potions, amongst other natural narcotics, and might have some more practical information on the subject of Pythavin's antidote. Unbeknownst to the rest of the group, this is the same contact she attempted to convince Angelo to visit previously, to assist him in finding clues to Gundren's disappearance about the location of Cragmaw Castle, considering the druid's knowledge of the woods. But this was before the group was distracted by recent events within the Dwarven Temple. The cleric then continues with another offering, possibly another potential source for a cure. Considering the curse's necrotic and arcane elements, the group could also seek the assistance of a very old and powerful banshee, that lives near Conneberry. She mentions while Redoth is an ally, Agatha, the Banshee, is a necessary evil whose presence contains the curse of undeath within that town. And should she ever be removed forcibly, the haunted town's effects could spread throughout the region. Although she mostly keeps to herself, if provoked, she would not hesitate to destroy any trespassers or anyone she deems an annoyance. And so the cleric implores to the group that if they seek her advice, that they should appeal to her sense of vanity. She then leaves the decision of which would be the best source for answers to the group, and then suggests that she could also provide means of transportation if necessary, to either return back to her if they want to access Redoth, or they could visit Barthens, as she has a caravan plan to travel towards the city of Tribar, which is on the way to Conneberry. That could possibly drop them off. The group leaves with this direction, but not before Pythavin attempts to procure a healing potion from the cleric, and while forgetting to hide said symbol of Talos. And so she gets recognized, the symbol, and she admonishes Pyth following this dark path, conveys that just like Agatha, that Pyth may also be a necessary evil. However, should she end up bending to the will of her god and betray the realms, that the Harpers would not hesitate in taking her down. And with that, the group prepares for their journey. Mahi takes the opportunity now to be finally rid of his sword. Since he can't do it himself, he asks Pythavin to purchase a new weapon for him to replace his. And so she and Tor head to the Lion Shield Coster while Angelo attempts to contact Corlin for further instruction. They try to barter for a battle axe, and with some quick mentioning of a previous competition, the owner reluctantly discounts the display item. Pythavin returns to Mahi, attempts to break the bond between him and the sword, and as her spell takes effect in a viscerally magical display, Mahi's consuming anger and wrath disperses. And he's free now of the sword's vile effects. Finally, with the ability to discard it with fervor, he casts the sword aside. However, the spirit of vengeance still continued to emanate from within the sword, and attempt to woo back his either former master or even possibly maybe try to attract a new one. Deciding that the sword is too great an evil to be allowed to exist, Mahi requests that Pythavin carry it for him, and the group returns back to the cleric for assistance. Surprised to see them again so quickly, but understanding the situation once explained, she takes custody of the cursed item, and she explains of potential options to break the curse indefinitely should Mahi want to keep it. However, Mahi emphatically requests that the sword be destroyed, to which the cleric reluctantly agrees. And now breathing the free air and full control of his own will, Mahi turns back to the group, and they prepare for their next leg of journey, and that is where we end up. The group, what shall you do?
That was fun.
I believe we're hoping that
That's a lot.
Corlin
Not a lot.
comes.
We're standing in
and
like
pops
the middle of the square.
We stone dialed Corlin, kind of waiting for him to pop up.
Like that. Yes, and he mentioned that he would be there and stop wasting his minutes.
Yes. He responded to our one-way call. It was incredible.
Yes. This is a one-way, not a conversation.
Yeah, and Angela, you get the sense that he was not keen on being summoned.
Okay.
That sounds like a
You know
him
what?
problem.
His
Yeah, that sounds
tone-
like a him problem. Like, screw
his
him. We
tone
don't
was a
care.
little off.
Your sister's dying. Suck it up.
I'm sorry to inconvenience you,
At this
but
point, he
your
is
sister is
aware.
dying.
Because Taurus already told him.
That's true. Another thing to think about.
Take that for what you will.
Yeah, we were waiting for Corlin, but I know we were also gonna get some supplies. They had a cart and something for us.
Yeah, we need to
I
go
think-
pick up the cart from Barthens.
Yeah, I think we were actually heading in that direction when we left off.
Ish.
Yeah,
Yeah.
fine.
Now, so to clarify, so she mentions that if you guys were going to go and see the Banshee, that you can hop a caravan. That's what she'll have prepared. If you wanted to see the Druid, though, come back and see her because she has another means to access it.
So we're gonna go
We're
bother
not
her
going to see the
again,
Banshee.
is what I'm hearing.
Right,
Like,
but probably
what are you
after we talk to Corlin, because I mean, if Corlin could just teleport us there.
He also could have teleported us back after.
That would be convenient.
Trust Corlin the Rat Man or trust a
We already
random,
called
pretty much still
Corlin.
random. Yeah,
Unless-
that's true.
unless-
We already called him.
I accidentally turned my mic off. Unless we just retcon that we didn't call him because that was a misunderstanding on our part.
Oh, you called
Well, I think we were supposed we
Angelo
were gonna
called
call him.
Yeah, Angelo meant
Yeah.
to call him.
Yeah.
Angelo was gonna call him anyways, because as far as Angelo's concerned, he still has to give his report as to what happened.
Yes, that's true.
It's true.
As in,
So we're not forced to.
Pyth being murdered. In the progress
So
of
we
being
probably
murdered.
should wait for him to pop up. So we're like standing in the middle of town and very inconspicuous as a group.
Yeah, I know, because already some passerbys have kind of witnessed the whole curse breaking moment, and that was a little freaky for a lot of them. Like, hey, the Dragonborn is glowing, kind of
Don't
weird,
mind me,
Goldie-like,
I'm just,
and they just kind of chuck that sword to the side. I think one of
Okay.
the guards yelled at you for littering.
Don't mind
did.
us.
He did,
Nothing to
yeah.
see here.
Nothing.
Oh, that's great.
And all of us yelled at him to shut up because we're
Yeah.
not littering.
We did.
It
Yeah,
was just an instant. Hey, don't litter. Screw you.
Shut
just
up.
kind of walked away, mumbling
believe
something
Tor
about not
flipped
being
him off.
paid enough.
Yeah, I recall this.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
I might have a question for Pyth to ask. Let me see something.
That you, as a person, are asking yourself, Pyth, the question.
Or Pyth is asking the group.
It's like a conflict of.
I might have a
Right.
question that Pyth needs to ask.
I got you.
She's referencing her notes. Meanwhile, Tor is pulled out like her notebook and is just kind of flipping through it. She's not like actually looking at the pages. It seems like more she's trying to keep her hands busy than anything else. She's kind of flipping back and forth, running over notes.
How
Mahi's
much
trying to-
gold do we all have?
I'm poor. Yeah. Looks through the bag. Roughly around 34 gold pieces.
That's rough, buddy.
You have more than me, Mahi. I think I'm the poorest one here now.
Sounds like someone needs to grind some more.
Tavi starts jangling his pouch, and there's like a lot of gold in there.
So all
Just
those
like
side
not
quests.
doesn't even say anything, just kind of like jiggles it a little bit like,
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm just like,
dang.
I have 207 gold.
I have 28, Tavi.
Oh crap.
Look who's laughing now.
Me,
Wait,
when
were you
I
laughing before?
fireball your butt.
Just kidding. I'm kidding.
Yes, and his outfit is flammable.
It is. It's quite flammable, actually.
Hey.
That's one thing he's
Quite
not
flammable.
resistant to.
The little clothes he is wearing is quite flammable.
And he himself is flammable.
Hey, my cape
most
is
people
nice.
Pyth's looking at Angelo.
Angela,
Expectantly.
you get the sense that someone's
And-
looking at you.
Angelo is looking back.
Awkward.
Do you have any
Mahi's-
gold?
I don't know how the emblem is put on the actual battle axe. Mahi's trying to pick it off.
The lion
With his
shield.
claw-
Yeah.
Yeah, like
Okay.
trying to get his fingernail like
It's
into
on
it,
the
like trying to.
handle. It's like
Yeah,
on
like
the
he's tr-
handle, so you're kind of like.
Gosh.
It's on there pretty good.
Okay. Ugh. Never mind.
Angelo, we're all
you kinda
sharing our
notice it's a
current
display
monetary
item.
worth.
Already kind of scratched up on the handle. Like this is used.
Oh,
This is a used weapon.
I do
That
not
new.
have much.
it works.
How much is
More or
not
less than
much?
28.
2 gold more.
Alright,
Do you want an insight check him?
no.
No, I believe
I'm
this
not
rat
going
man.
to. I believe
Are
him
you
wholeheartedly.
actually that poor?
Saving it for Corlin.
I
I
don't get paid.
If
Yeah,
we
no one's
could-
getting paid lately.
if we could all perhaps chip in. I am in need of some diamonds. Before you even say anything, I believe I have figured out how to cast a spell to bring someone back from the dead, if they have only been dead very briefly.
Would Mahi have any knowledge of this spell?
Roll a religion check, I guess. Yeah.
Can I roll an Arcana check on it?
Yeah, you can roll Arcana, yeah. For your
Which dice should I use, metal or resin?
Metal.
26.
I rolled a 15 total.
It's Revivify. She needs 300 gold worth of diamonds.
that. You
Yeah.
gotta get that.
Do we? What the heck?
I know this spell. I know somebody who actually knows how to use it.
Well, you
Yeah, I
know,
can chip in.
perhaps
I
two
don't
now.
have. I am. She holds up her bag and like jingles a little bit. I'm
just,
a little low on funds right now.
Tavith, you
I-
appear to have the most out of us. Would you be willing to contribute?
You know, since you did help me with Vigo, and I didn't have to pay for the cape. I'll give you what I was supposed to pay for the cape. 100 gold.
That's still
Very valiant.
all right.
Well, he only has 200 though. He
Mhm.
can't give you.
Well, the thing is, okay, so I don't have 200.
How much do you have?
I have 172 gold.
Okay, then I will give you 104. What? 48.
Are you gonna make me
128.
spend
28.
all of my gold?
Here,
To be fair, I mean,
100
are you
and-
gonna make him spend all of his?
here. I'll give you, here. I give you 20 gold.
Trying to make
I
it a group
don't have
effort.
much.
Yeah, that's because like
Yeah.
if Pyte's holding all this, she's the one that's casting it. Like she's not benefiting
Mhm.
from this.
I give
Okay,
you 20
It's
gold.
hard to revivify
So
yourself.
20
Yeah.
gold. I give 100. That means you can give 8. Tor.
I'll give 10.
Then we have it. Well, that's if
Now
don't
I'm
worry,
freaking
Pyth. We'll
tired.
cover you for anything else that comes up.
I also just bought that potion for all of you. But yeah, that'll do it.
Probably
Okay.
head down to that,
Miners exchange.
yeah, the miners exchange.
Oh,
where you
wow.
can Find a diamond.
They gave me a
Sure.
pretty good diamond.
There was a.
Oh, how much is that worth?
100. You can't have it.
No,
That's a chrome orb diamond.
my thought
He's like-
process is we buy 200 gold worth in diamonds, you keep your 100 gold. 1. And if it's an emergency and we need it, you know, to bring you or anyone else. I cannot look at your face.
She ain't having
Don't
it.
talk to me.
That can work. Yeah, it can. It doesn't have to be one diamond. It can be diamonds.
Yeah, it's just
that equal
300 gold
300.
worth of diamonds, and if someone straight up dies, I'm taking your diamond from you. Is essentially what she's saying.
You
She's
can't
gonna
have
leave
my
your
diamond.
corpse is what I'm hearing.
So only if she dies can you take her
Yeah,
diamond
the
from
only
her.
way you're getting
Yeah.
my diamond is if I am the one who dies.
Her cold
Mahi's
fingers.
dead,
Literally.
dead, laying on the floor. His neck is just,
Trevor's
and
like,
she's like,
I'm
"No,
keeping my
you're not
diamond.
having my diamond. This is
I need my
mine."
diamond for my spell, okay?
I don't think you understand.
Mine's
That was
fine.
the first major purchase I made. That's part of the reason why I've constantly been in the black this campaign is because I spent 100 gold right off of that.
Dang.
You're leaving me with 2 gold.
Yeah, she had to raid her school supply closet just to get her recent spells.
I'll give you 10 more. I'll give 110.
Down to
Yeah,
18. I mean, I only have a little bit more than you.
I am currently at 14 gold. So,
Like, we're not stiffing you.
Nope.
yeah, in my line of work, I don't get paid.
Arguably,
Can
we rob
Tommy
someone?
was stiffing me a
Person.
little. Pyth steals. She's gonna steal
And-
diamonds.
Angelo drops his entire pouch of 30 gold in front of Pyth.
Aren't they standing?
He drops it in front of Pyth. I said what I said.
Pick it up.
Dang.
Pick it up.
Pick
Get
it
on
up.
your hands and knees.
Can I
Slowly.
try to like as he drops it, like kick it and then catch it instead of having to bend down and pick it up?
Go ahead and roll a dexterity check. That's just straight up dexterity.
Come on.
Fail, 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 fail.
Nat 20.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh dang.
Nice. What was that thing that you wanted to do?
Basically, like as he tosses it down, Pyth like kicks it and just catches it in the air.
And then with flourish for the nat 20, that happens.
Nice.
Everyone
And
else is
Angelo just nods at Pyth.
silent with applause.
Thank you for your contribution.
Of course.
I will now give you 70 gold.
No, that's not how this works.
No, it's at this point. Tom's just trying to one up
Congratulations,
everybody.
You have
Equation.
70 gold.
Probably sees this happen. Like, oh, 30.
You don't know how much is in the
Gotta
pouch.
give more.
Oh, well, oh.
No, he does.
No, not necessarily, because I said I had 30, but I didn't say how
Yeah.
much I actually dropped. Like, Angelo didn't say how much he dropped. He just dropped a pouch of gold.
I have
I'm
no
assuming
idea
we
where we
probably
are
have-
math-wise now. I can't do numbers.
I am at 0. That is what I am at.
I gave you 10.
I gave you 20.
Tavi, how
30.
much are you giving her?
30. That's 60 from us so far. I'm giving her 110.
110. That's 170.
All right.
Plus 30 is 200.
Now you have more gold than me. You're welcome.
Pyth
See,
has collected all of the
strong
gold. All right. Does
Teamwork.
anyone want to go with me?
This is painful.
sure,
I will.
I'll go.
Oh, we going as a
I,
group.
I, I want to. I
Mahi,
want to see how this
married
money
man.
gets spent.
You
I want to make
stay
sure
here.
she spends this money properly.
He's like, if she goes
Okay.
and buys some stupid.
For real.
Some bling.
All right, so we're heading to the miners' exchange.
Angelo is staying in the square.
Okay. And to that point, when the rest of the groups start to head off, Angelo, you get a voice in your head.
Not frick.
And he says, meet me in the town master's hall. Make sure you come alone, Angelo. We have much to discuss.
How convenient, we already left.
Am I able to respond?
You cannot reply to this message.
One way.
Yes, you can. Like,
The person you are trying to contact has a voicemail box that has not been set up.
Oh, I hate
Right,
that.
well,
I
I'm
had
gonna
that
head
at
to
work
the town
today.
master's hall then. Yeah, while they're heading to the miners' exchange, I'm a head to the hall.
Okay.
So the rest of the group was heading
Unless
heading to the miners'
Yeah, everybody
exchange.
else decided they were going to the miners' exchange.
I'm
Right.
watching my money get used properly.
Angelo, do you want to roll stealth or deception or anything to break from the group, or does the group
You know what?
roll-
Yes, I would. I would.
Okay, good. See if you slip away.
What is my
Bless you.
modifier?
Thank you.
21.
21 stealth. Okay, yeah. So unless someone's going to actively passive that, but yeah,
I
nobody
can't beat it.
notices.
We aren't pressed about Angelo. He-
Yeah, nobody cares.
I
Everyone
checked.
is focused
I
on
checked.
Pyth
I
and
checked,
the
but I
money
couldn't
she's
beat the
carrying.
21.
I had
I checked,
had
but I
11.
couldn't beat the 21. I had a 16.
Although I do want to say, as we're walking to the miners' exchange, Mahi is just keeping a general eye out. But if he happens to see a certain red brand that he had a bar fight with, you know,
Okay.
got
good to know.
some beef.
All right, so So we'll go with the group here to the Miners Exchange. So you enter the main doors. The rather two rough-looking characters are guarding the door at the moment. Very bouncer-esque. They're human, but they're rough-looking. They don't have any uniforms. They're not a part of the town guard that you have seen recently. Tavi, you kind of recognize this because you've been here before, so they look similar to the type of clientele that was here earlier. The last time you guys attempted to purchase something from here.
I
Or sell.
believe
I think
it
you were
was
selling something
Tavi,
last
Pyth, and Tor, I think. All three of them
Right.
went.
So you guys are familiar with the atmosphere. Place has atmosphere.
I am not. It's first time that's half the reason he wanted to go. He's never been there.
So in the foyer area of the entrance, basically, there's kind of a large like a concierge desk, basically, and you see a similar. I believe you met this individual before. Is a small gnomish kind of sits on a book behind the desk. Very bookish, big thick glasses. And he's currently kind of writing down something, scribbling down as you enter in, and he kind of looks up. How can I help you?
Hi, I'm
Hi.
in the. I'm in,
You have something to sell or buy?
I'm in the market for some diamonds.
And which miners group are you with?
I'm not with the group.
Oh, this is a freelancing purchase, huh? Okay. So do you have any collaterals? Any credit?
I have gold.
Gold works here. We take gold. So what are you in the market to buy, huh?
About 300 gold worth of diamonds.
300 gold worth of diamonds. And you say you're not part of the Miners Guild, huh? Maybe you
No.
should be.
No.
We got a nice lot of timeshares out in the hills out there if you're kind of interested in making some investments.
In the hills, Pyth.
Yeah, I mean the hills. It's the area before the mountain part.
Before the mountains.
Yeah, and definitely not in the mountains where particular said to be maybe or maybe not a dragon. Kind of lowering real estate in that area. So this is far away from there.
Yeah, not
Far.
where the dragon is.
Far away, like
That's
5 miles away.
great.
At least 5 miles.
Yeah, at least 5 miles.
Sounds like a pretty good deal if you think.
Oh, it's the
about it.
best deal ever. Yeah.
300 gold worth of diamonds. I'm not joining a guild.
300 gold worth of diamonds. Okay. You don't happen to have the 300 gold here, do you?
Punk.
Okay, he kind of picks it up and he like very slowly kind of like looks at each little coin and
2.
bite on it and put it down. 1, 2, 3. So I mean, he's like literally counting this. After a few minutes, and you kind of give him the look, and he kind of looks up and kind of nods and is like, okay. Sure. Hold on. Let me get you your goods. And so he turns his chair around and hops down, and you kind of lose sight of him because he's small enough for the desk. And then he kind of walks into the back room. The guards in the area that are behind you, there's 2 guards that are in the door on the inside of it, and there was 2 guards on the outside, and so they like haven't moved or said anything. Tavi, if you kind of poke one of them just to check if they're breathing, he didn't like that. You wait a few moments.
I'm gonna put my hand to my ear and I'm gonna like subtly point at Tavi. Poke him again.
Pokes him again.
You get like no response. These are like the those royal guards. People make
British
fun of them. Yeah, the British World Guards where they're poking him in the.
Oh yeah. The big old
But
hat.
you can see his eyes. They hate you.
Oh,
Dang,
He
making
hates you.
friends.
You don't even
This
have
is
to
good.
insight check him.
dang.
You just
Wow.
know passively. It's
Feel
like
it
divine
coming.
divine inspiration.
It's oozing.
A few moments go by, and the little gnome comes back and hops back onto his chair. and he holds out a big old diamond, like huge, bigger than Tor's diamond. He goes, "Here you go," and he passes it over to you. And he scoops up all the rest of the gold into the bag and ties it up. He kind of looks at you, and then he looks at the others. Okay. And just can I what name do you all go by?
Her name's Pice.
Okay.
She's the only one
Pice.
buying something today.
They
that
know
like
me
a-
as Sarah here.
Pice.
That's-
Okay. Is that with an I or Y or a
It's with a Y.
E? Okay. Pipe.
E-Y.
LANN.
Oh, is it short for
Tommy.
something?
No.
Yeah, it's
No.
just Pice, so.
Okay. I once dated a girl. Her name was Pilana.
Oh.
He kind of was like there was an awkward. Never mind. Big guy Tavi, right? Okay.
Yeah, hey, yeah, that's me.
And you Tiefling. What's your name?
I'm the one who bought. Anyways, I'm Tor.
Okay, we got a lot of customers here. And Tor.
I'm
Tor.
Blue.
Okay. Yeah, a lot of blue people. They sing
You
songs.
do?
Yeah.
You get a lot of blue people?
Oh yeah, definitely. There was a weird multicolored tiefling just a couple weeks ago out in the square. He was like trying to sell some goods and stuff. I know Lenine, she was not having it.
Oh,
No,
Vigo.
not.
But he was more of the purplish variety though.
I took care
Yeah.
of him, though.
You're a lot
I
more
took care of
cheerful. You brighten up the room. And he kind of looks around, and the kind of guards are. He kind of looks at the guards and he kind of goes, "Yeah, as you can tell, our company here is somewhat limited."
Yeah, you got a tough crowd.
Yeah.
So
So,
bad for you.
is there anything more we could do for you here?
No, that's all. Thank you.
him. Is Halia around somewhere?
And
by any
remember,
chance?
we definitely purchased. So if you find anything out there in your non-mining occupation, definitely feel free to come back, and we'll do some business. The boss is out at the moment, but I'm sure she definitely likes to know about the shall we call high rollers that come into town every so often. So,
Oh, she already knows about us. Don't worry about it. We'll go now.
What's
all
she
right.
up to? Oh,
Tavi.
okay.
Tavi.
Not
Not the
sure it's the business there, big guy.
Okay.
He has a
Yeah.
crush.
Yeah,
He has a crush on her.
A lot of people do.
Mai just kind of looks at Tav, just kind of looks him up and down. just
She's
She's a
shrugs,
very
like,
pretty woman.
I think the feeling is mutual. What can I say? All right, we're getting out of here.
And he looks at your outfit and everything. And goes, maybe if you were as well off as your friend here, with the gold,
It's mostly his gold, actually.
Miss Aaliyah might.
Oh, there
might
it
call
is.
you actually.
There it is. Did you hear
Oh.
that?
It's his gold, really?
Mostly.
What kind of business do you do?
He
None
smashes.
of yours.
Killing things. Holds up the mall.
And
What's
notice
your job?
the red
Top-
smear
Tommy.
on the
Tommy.
edge of it. It's like, yep, okay, Tommy, do not mess with him. You interested in any kind of mercenary work? We do.
Yes.
Okay.
We're in the.
But I'll
Tavi,
come
we're in
back.
the middle of something right now. How about
Well,
we come back in a few
just
days?
gave like a lot of gold. I would like to make them back.
Trust me, I'm aware we're all broke now.
Then we can
so-
all mercenary together. All right, we'll be back.
We're,
Yes.
we're definitely interested in freelancing. So if you ever need some work, just come over and let us know. We'll hook you up.
What was your
Perfect.
name again?
My name?
Yeah.
my name. I don't. Did we even introduce this guy before?
I don't think you ever
I
gave
don't
him a
remember.
name,
I don't think we ever gave him a name.
but I would
um,
love to hear another gnome name.
Mixlactic.
Mizzlepeck. Oh man.
This is good.
Gotta get that name generator going.
Yeah, I know. We're pulling up the name generator here.
We gotta write this one down.
Okay. The first thing's weird.
Do it. It has to be the first thing that comes up.
So they call me Mr. Copperbranch.
Copperbranch, why?
Yeah. Mr. Copperbranch.
Mr. Copperbranch.
Yeah.
First
Is-
name Mr. or
First name Mr. Name your business. Last name Copperbranch.
Like a branch made out of copper?
So
Sure.
are your parents made of
Or just
named
copper
silver?
in color?
that's
Yeah, like
not
if
how
they,
last
you know,
names work.
call you Miss Water Lady.
Never actually been called that. That analogy makes no sense.
No, it doesn't.
Have a good day.
Neither does
I'm
mine.
gonna turn and start walking for the door.
I'm gonna high five him on the way out. He's gonna fall off of his chair.
He kind of does, and he kind of watches. It kind of grabs onto it, and you kind of see like one of the books that he's sitting on kind of falls over to the side. So he now all of a sudden gets
Man.
like short. Okay, I'll see you guys later. He kind of picks himself
Good
up.
day. Ah, crap.
And as you guys like leave, you can kind of hear him kind of yell something to the guards. It's like, "Hey, watch those guys."
What a sleazeball.
We're
Yeah,
we're
you get,
totally trustworthy. Come on.
you get the sense that he's probably half goblin.
Yeah,
Somewhere-
we just
somewhere
Oh,
in the
no.
family tree.
You did low-key threaten him, Toppy, to be fair.
I just said what I did for a living.
The way you did it was very threatening.
I kill people.
I killed things!
I'm just just being a little more.
And you get the sense that when you were dealing with him, that he kind of, I mean, he looked intimidated, and he was definitely in on it, but it was more of an interest than it was like actually fear. So
Yeah.
Good
like,
impression.
oh, we're gonna remember this guy.
I gotta
Hey,
go potty real
everybody needs
fast. I'm sorry.
bodyguards.
And they have quite a few. Not as big as Tommy.
Quick question. Can y'all see me?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we see you. You freeze for once in a while, but we see
You
you.
freeze every
Yeah,
once in a while, but then you come back.
Yeah, y'all are frozen on my screen. One second.
Yeah,
I'm
you're.
gonna-
It's just your phone, I
It
guess,
sounds
right?
like a you problem.
Mm-hmm.
What thousand
Stop being lame, Eli.
Goes off.
You know,
Stop being
I've
like
tried to
Angelo.
stop being lame. It just happens. I'm
Yeah,
just
you're
a
gonna have
lame
to
person.
join the club. Lame
Alex is
club.
being
second.
that one
I'll be
character on Overwatch with the guns.
Tra-
Now
with
I'm
the
gonna-
one character
with
on
the
Sorry.
one
Overwatch,
character.
Sorry,
the one character
sorry.
with the gun.
I meant like the heavy. There's like the
Tracer?
heavy one, the girl heavy one, like the heavy, like the kind of like robot looking one.
Zarya?
That sounds like.
No,
No.
Orisa?
Zarya doesn't have two
Orisa?
guns. Orisa
Yeah, there
only
you
has
go.
an arm cannon.
Whatever, you know what I mean.
No, I
Or
don't.
Diva?
Diva, there you go.
Oh, that makes more
Ah.
sense.
Okay.
Come on, I led you guys to the water and you guys like drank something else
You did not lead us to the water.
as best as I could.
No, you led us to the forest and made us walk 5 miles to the little creek.
Mr. Copperbranch.
That
Now
works.
you guys will have to make me a backstory now for this guy.
Nice. I guess about to
I
remember
gotta
it
write
back.
it down for our recap.
I'm right back.
Okay, we can probably head to Angelo now if he wants, since he has to go to the bathroom anyways, and we're just heading back.
Okay, so Angelo, what do you do, sir?
I walk up to the town hall and I walk in.
Alrighty there. One of the guards kind of begins to stop you.
I walk past him.
And
Unless he
as you kinda-
physically stops me.
Well, yeah, he does. He does. He starts to hold out his arm, and then you kind of watch as a hand goes on his back, and you see in the background is Coraline,
Oh,
and the guard
all right.
kind of lowers his guard.
Good day.
Proceed.
I walk in.
Coraline kind of doesn't say anything else. So he turns around and floats towards Sildar's office.
I'm following.
Right. So it kind of leads you over into the little center area here, kind of in front of the chimney where he's got some couches and everything set up. It's
Mhm.
across from his desk, and you've been here before. Ziller's not in the room actually at the moment, so it's just the two of you.
Okay.
And he sits down, starts pouring a glass of wine, and he kind of looks over to the guard across the room and gives him the kind of the whatever this is.
No. Please
stay, please
stay, please
And he does this sign. No.
Like, oh no!
Oh no, that's the wrong sign. The guard closes the door behind you.
Now you know what it felt like to be autumn.
I'm gonna pull out my comfort pipe.
And you notice that Corlin's pouring his own glass. There's only one, so he's not.
Yeah,
offering
I'm
you.
gonna pull out my comfort pipe. That's okay.
All right, and kind of sit across from him. Fire kind of crackles off in the distance, and he kind of just sitting there looking, sipping his wine. Well, how did it go?
What's exactly?
For a detective, you're not too quick on the deduction. Your mission, of course.
Well, when we got there, we found dead people. Tor did
Ancient buried
uncover-
temples tend to include those. The good
this
eye.
one was more recent. But Tor did find a key.
He kind of stops you there. What do you mean more recent?
Well, there was a dwarf who has died recently. Kind of like I just put my pipe to my mouth. I'm just looking at him.
He kind of strokes his chin a little bit and goes, "Did you get any identification from this dwarf?"
I can't remember. Did I get any identification from him?
I mean,
was
you
one of the
guys
rock
all.
seekers.
It was-
Yeah, it's the Rock Seekers. You read his journal. So,
It was a
Right. I knew that.
Wa-
This was
wasn't a-
only 2 days
wasn't a
ago.
hard
Nundren?
history.
Was it
This is only
Nundren?
yesterday for Angelo. Oh my god.
Who said?
In fact-
He said Nundren.
In
I think
fact,
it was.
no.
I think it was
no,
Nundro.
Tharden is the one.
Oh, Tharden.
Nundro
But
is the
Tharden?
one you guys haven't met yet.
Okay, so there's Nundro, Tharden,
And
Gundren.
Gundren.
Okay.
Gundren's
So
the original.
Tharden is the dead
Yes,
one,
yes.
correct?
Tharden is the dead
Forster
one.
notes.
Yeah, the guaranteed.
Nundro is the third brother that nobody knows what happened to him.
Well,
He's the black
I-
spider.
Just to recap that portion, recalling the journal. In fact, it's ironic because Angela even mentioned, how did they miss this? It's right here.
I'm sorry. This was yesterday for Angelo.
No, yeah, I get it. Yeah. Angela would know, but
I
Preston.
have no clue.
Oh,
Preston
That's
doesn't
true.
know.
This is like 3 months ago, in real time. So, so the journal talked about the last entry was about the dwarves' plans. Gundren went to Neverwinter so they can get supplies. Their whole point was they're going to go re-access the excavation site so that they can find the keys, which you guys ended up finding, so that they can find the forge. So Tharden was supposed to stay at the site. Nundra was supposed to stay in Phandalin, and then Gundren went off to go to Neverwinter, and that's where you guys came in. Yeah. Well, not you, Angelo, per se. You have a different backstory.
Well, the body that we found is one of the rock seekers.
And he kind of stops, his eyes get wide. Oh,
Third.
really?
Tharden, I believe, is his name.
And you say he was deceased at the time that you found him, recently.
Yes, he was.
Could you determine the nature of cause of death?
Maliciously slashed multiple
Okay,
times.
Well, that is definitely one way to go. Any other evidence in pointing to who might have accosted
well,
our poor little dwarf?
I'm assuming we do know, since when we left, there was a horde of goblins accompanied by the drow and a dragon.
And this is the same drow that attacked the party previously, is what I understand.
I believe so.
Your first encounter with this drow?
Yes, it is.
Do you know her?
I do not.
We suspect that she, of course, is either perhaps maybe the Black Spider in disguise, or works for the Black Spider. But the group has mentioned this drow before. They, in fact, if I recall, you can kind of see where he kind of, not disrespectfully, but he does smirk a little bit, and he says, "You were one of their replacements for the one that she took from them before we arrived."
Yes, I believe so. His name was Archer.
Needless to say, I assumed that the group acted accordingly. Were they able to defeat the drow?
No, we were not able to. Quite frankly, we were beaten up quite badly. And your sister
That you
is now
survived?
poisoned.
And do you have any details of what happened to my dear sister?
Can I inside check that?
You want to insight check that?
You know that Tor already talked to him the night before. She told you that. and you
Angelo
knew it.
knows this. Yes, Angelo, you
Yeah.
know
Yes.
this. Yes.
Okay.
Go ahead and insight. Yeah.
Oh my god. 19.
Isn't your passive higher though?
No, I think my passive is 19.
Yeah. You with what Tor told you, of course. Corlin seems to be playing like he doesn't know, but you
Okay.
suspect that he does already know. So, but you
Well.
get the sense that he's playing a game.
She was wounded by one of the Drow's blades, and now she is going to die very soon if we do not get her help.
Kind of watch, and he's kind of expressionless at this point. But he takes a long sip of the wine, and then he kind of stares off into the fire. And you just kind of see it kind of crackling and flickering. He kind of almost dozes off almost for a sense there. Just very, very sullen, very emotionless.
I'm just looking at him with my pipe. However,
Go ahead.
there is a bright side. She will not
And
remain
he
dead for
stops and
long.
turns to you.
She will not remain dead for long. I believe shortly after she will turn undead. So there is that.
You kind of say his mood doesn't change at this. His eyes open wide at the thought of the good news, and then when you say that, it kind of narrows down back to his original state. I fail to see the good news in this.
Well, you don't want your sister to die, do you?
Would you? Do you have any family, Angelo?
Not a sister.
We don't talk much.
It does not
About
matter
our
if I have
personal
family.
lives.
You do have family, and one of them is dying right now. And we need help.
Unfortunately, this is not my area of expertise. Have you consulted with any clerics or possibly
We-
any other
we have
denizens of
consulted.
arcane knowledge?
We have, and we know where to go now. But I am not asking help for you to save your sister. I am asking help to stop the Drow and the Black Spider. I have been your errand boy. I have been your errand boy for quite a long while. And with all due respect, because I do have the utmost respect for you, I have not seen you doing anything yet.
Do you want to roll intimidation on that?
Do I?
With your -1 charisma and your -1
My negative one
strength.
charisma.
Go ahead.
18.
18. That's not bad.
It's not bad.
That's pretty good.
His expressionless face at this point does emit some type of emotion. It looks like he's annoyed at the implication that he's not doing anything. He did not like that.
Because
He
from my
takes
point
another
of
long
view,
drawn of the wine, but let you continue.
the wizard in our group, Tor, I know that she was a student of yours. She has had nothing but kind words for you. She really looks up to you. But you have not shown me what she sees yet. And I really want to get to know that Corellin.
He takes another pause and stares at the fire. And he says, well, that Corellin changed many years ago.
How so?
He sighs. It's a story that we don't have time for, considering my sister's state.
They are running a quick errand. We have time.
More to the point, what is the next phase of our plan? Where does this lead us with the Forge? For I fear the Forge may be my sister's salvation, and put the utmost urgency on us recovering it before the Black Spider does.
We are going to see a friend near Neverwinter Woods. He will
And what's
help
in
us.
Neverwinter Woods that would draw your attention?
I do not know.
So the detective goes on a leap of faith, I take it.
Sometimes after you have reached dead end after dead end, you have to.
Well, this is your arena of expertise, and so I will leave you to that decision. But you neglected to inform me of anything that you discovered outside of the little dead dwarf friend. Did you all find the keys?
We found a key.
A key.
A key.
And which member of the group is in possession of this key?
Tor gave the key to me, and I'm going to pull out the key that I have.
Okay. Go ahead and roll deception for me if you don't mind.
A dirty 20.
What was it, a 7?
It's a dirty 20.
Oh, dirty 20, okay.
Yeah, it's not natural. I do have a +1. I do have a +1 modifier to deception, don't I? I think. Oh, I have a +2. It's
Yeah.
a 21.
21, okay. Very good. For our non-charisma character,
Honestly,
is blowing
my
this
God.
conversation apart.
Dude.
Critting the conversation. So Corlin kind of nods, and he looks at the key. Do you mind?
No, of course. I'm gonna
Takes the
hand
key
it to
from
him.
you, inspects it, turns it around. Kind of notices the teeth on it, the different shape, size of it. So this seems to be the literal key to our salvation. Hands it back to you.
Quite literally.
Take it back.
I take it.
Keep it close. Keep it secret.
I will.
Pulling off Gandalf there. I suspect that our drow friends and those that may be above her are still looking for said object.
Yes, they are.
The fact that you all survived, with the exception of the question of my sister, kind of implies that this key actually may be the thing that keeps you alive.
That is
So-
what I am hoping, because I am not ready to die. Not
I
quite yet.
I know. Well, that is one of the reasons we chose you. Very well, Angelo. Continue as planned. I think the next part of our phase will be at this point. If we can find the forge, we have the key, but we still lack the location.
Yes. But that will not be a problem if everything goes well. The forge is my first priority.
And do you believe that what you will find in Neverwinter Woods will lead you to this discovery?
I can almost guarantee it.
According to the group previously before our arrival, the map was retaken by the drow.
I believe so.
And if I recall, they said that, from what they overheard, the drow sent the map back to the Goblin Lair, which we suspect our friend Gundren at least was taking custody. Of course, this was many weeks ago. Whether the poor dwarf also has met the fate of his brothers remains to be seen, but one of two things we know for sure. He would know the location, or we can get the map back. If any of these two things you can succeed on, then we have everything we need. And we need not to wait for this drow to finish the job. We can go to the forge ourselves. Once we have the forge, we need not fear from the black spider or the drow. They will slink back into the hole from whence they came.
All right.
And
That
we
is
shall
what I will
see
do.
what will become of our endeavor. And, of course, the reward thereof. For all involved. For the good of the realm. The Lord's Alliance.
Of course.
He takes a sip of the wine.
The Lord's Alliance and the safety of the Sword Coast, and by extension, Faerun,
Indeed.
is my first priority. I am forever loyal to the Lord's Alliance.
Good man. You have the means to communicate back to me. Do let me know what you find. I understand that there might be some kind of a time limit on this.
Yes,
So I
there is
do
a time limit, but I do have one question.
request urgency. Go for it.
Can I have maybe 6 or 7 more of these, and I'm gonna hold up the sending stone?
All of us like, hey Corlin, can we need? Hey Corlin, hey Corlin.
Roll perception for me if you don't mind.
Perception.
Yeah.
That would be
Come
fine.
on.
Come on, that's the one thing I'm good at. I've got
I
a
know,
poopy
right?
roll.
Well,
16.
you have passive will still back you up. So one interesting thing that you've noticed in this conversation with Corlin, and I mean, you've only had a few. I mean, more so with the group. Accordingly, you actually traveled with him in the first place here, but and in the past before you came. You are noticing, however, that his his demeanor is definitely more. I wouldn't say grumpy. It's more like solemn kind of. I mean, he's less confident than he had shown in the past, and you also notice that his facial features are a little bit different. A little bit more wrinkly than you have known before. His hair not so bright, shiny golden, a little duller, grayer. Even since the last time you saw him, which were just a few days ago.
Corellin,
Yes.
I hope you know that you can trust me and you can consider me a friend. And I'm going to take off my right glove and I'm going to hold out my hand to shake it. shake is.
He kind of looks down at the hand and then looks back at you. Takes it. Kind of slowly shakes. But he remains eyes locked on you. Of course. What are friends for?
Trust you with my life.
And I trust you will do a job well done.
I can deal with that. Nice smile.
He nods. He sips the wine and then his attention, he looks back at the fire.
But
Quietly.
if you do not mind me, I will take my leave so we can save your sister.
He finishes up the last gulp, and this time it's like a puts it down. He nods back, but he doesn't divert his attention from the fire. And kind of folds his hands.
I start walking out.
Okay. The guard at the door kind of reopens it. Pushes you over. Leave the room into the main
Mhm.
hallway of the town master place. Okay, and the guard kind of leaves the room, closes the door behind him, and he walks past you.
Okay.
So you are in the hallway now, alone.
Is there anything interesting in this hallway before I
Not
head
really.
out? Okay,
Just,
I'm just gonna head out.
just the hallway. The
the
other
hallway.
side, around the corner, as you it leads into the kind of a larger, more of a not necessarily a church type of auditorium, but kind of a similar aspect. This is where most of the towns have their council meetings and so forth. And there are further like kind of offices on the other side of the main entrance, and then down another hall leads into kind of where they were using their prison or dungeon area.
All right. Yeah, I'll walk out so I can meet with the group.
All right, so you go out the main entrance and spill out into the streets. About that time, I'd say that you guys kind of both run into each other in passing, and this will be the first time the group notices that you were gone. So you get a kind of surprised look from everybody.
Where'd you come from?
What in the world?
I had to go to the bathroom.
Can I
Insight
insight
check.
check that?
I'm insight checking.
Yes. This does not look like an
Wow.
outhouse.
17.
18.
20.
Okay, yeah, that's a 12 on deception. So
18.
Literally everyone knows you're a liar.
The town master's hall is the new outhouse. It's canon.
Where were you?
did I not just tell you?
You're lying.
You're not very
No,
good
why
at it
would
either.
I lie?
Lying is very unbecoming of a man with a mustache like that.
That is very true.
I twist my mustache. Well, the sooner we get on the road, the better, and I need to have a
Don't
talk
change
with you.
the subject.
I
Wait,
am
with me
changing
or
the
with us?
subject for the better. I have to have a conversation with all of you once we are out of the town.
Well, let's
So
get
where
out
were
of
you?
town then.
Where was I? Oh, right.
Yeah, where were you?
Frankly, I
met
don't
with
care.
Sildar.
You what?
I met with Sildar.
Why? He
Because
hasn't
we
had any
wanted to
quest
know
for
how
us
we're
since
doing.
level 1.
What?
That's not true.
Metagaming a little bit.
It was at
Everybody
least
else
level
is
2.
Level 1.
He just wanted to know how we were doing.
We did barge into his house last night, or the night. I don't know what night. I don't
It
know
was
what
last
I don't
night.
know what day it
The
is.
previous
Yeah.
night, yes.
It was last night.
I wanted to go apologize to him
Oh,
just for any
I should
inconvenience.
have rolled that with disadvantage. I forgot I have disadvantage on my ability checks right now.
Mhm. Both you and Toffee do, actually.
Ooh.
But I think
Exhaustion
I think we've been
squad.
forgetting some of that.
Ooh.
I have
Slide.
forgotten. I've only made 2 rolls this round though, and they weren't super important, so it's okay.
Luckily, none of them have been game breaking.
Yeah, they were just
Yeah.
what's
Well,
a revivify.
It was just to
what's
see if he
cheat,
was lying
what's-
about being on the toilet. Like, that was
And
And
kind
the
of
other
an
one
obvious
was, do I
lie,
know what
too.
revivify was? But with
Honestly,
plus
he would
one
need
die.
disadvantage on that deception, considering you just caught him walking out of the Townmaster Hall.
Okay, yeah. In that case, it
He
is
does not have a
seven.
public bathroom.
it
It is
cancels
a
itself
7 on
out.
deception with disadvantage. Well, shall we leave?
Yes.
Yes, not that I want to, but wasn't the plan to get Corlin to teleport us there?
That was the original plan, but plans have changed.
Did you talk to Coralyn?
He was in there as well.
See, this is
Secrets don't make friends, Angelo.
that's why I have so many, clearly.
Dora's like, I don't know that not having them helps either.
Tora says.
No, secrets do not make friends.
Everyone says.
But you guys have done just fine.
Touche.
I've never kept a secret in my life, and I'm gonna head off towards the cleric's house again, because I guess we need her help.
I'm gonna not say anything and follow Pies.
Just gonna walk over. Very reluctantly, like you can tell he doesn't want to. But, you know, still heading over there.
I'm gonna follow them.
We're marching to the clerics. Again.
Look, it's a little griffin.
Tiny
That's
griffin.
awesome.
Very cute.
All right, so we're going to the cleric.
Again.
To the cleric.
Yes.
Okay. So you start to head over to that direction, but you're all in the square at this point, I assume, right?
Mm.
Yeah.
So you actually, Angela, you would see this passively. You spy her. She is in her familiar spot at the shrine, actually.
To the shrine.
This way. I'm gonna point over to the shrine.
And I go that way.
I'm gonna march over there.
You go to
I do
go to
believe-
one direction. This way. Woo.
I do believe that they did offer us transportation, did they not?
Something
did.
like that.
I feel like since we're on limited time, I don't know if we have enough time to get there on the conventional way, but
Okay,
We will have to do it fast.
to clarify, the drow said she had some sort of transportation for us to get to... I'm so lost.
So the drow said
Not
that
the
you
drow,
guys
the
had
cleric.
cleric, yes.
Son of
She
a-
said, depending on which direction you wanted to go, she had a caravan that was heading towards Tribor that would point you towards Conberry. You can hitch a ride. If you were interested to visit the druid instead, come back to her. She can help with that, but she didn't
Okay.
tell you how yet.
We're going back to her. That's what we're doing.
So you kind of notice that she has your sword, Mahi. It's kind of wrapped up in a blanket, and it's kind of laying to the side of where she's sitting in the shrine. And it's almost kind of positioned interestingly, like this shrine's kind of, it's still part of a ruin from the original time when it was actually a real temple. So it's mostly just like a broken arch, but you kind of see that the sword is kind of laid in the center of it on kind of the altar area. There's several candles surrounding it. And kind of watch as she's kind of overing it.
ooga, ooga, ooga.
Ooga, ooga.
Should we interrupt?
Interrupt!
Hey, I see that you're
Mahi
busy,
will.
but...
Oh my god! And
Mahi.
the sword explodes now. What have you done? You interrupted the ritual!
We just kind of.
She's
Pipe's not
kinda
gonna
paying
interrupt.
attention a little bit, so if you want to interrupt.
No.
My just kind of does that awkward.
And she kind of opens one of her eyes,
Ugh.
and it's like because she's still in her elderly disguise. It's like the ugly glass-looking grayish eye with cataracts in it, like big, huge. Yeah.
We would love to take you up on that way of transportation to the druid in the Neverwinter Woods up north.
Okay, so you guys are which voice I had for her elderly one. So you guys are headed to the druid, I guess.
That is
Yes,
what we
ma'am.
just said, yes.
Okay. And she kind of stops and she looks down and she reaches into her robe and she pulls out a little acorn. And she's like real suspicious, just kind of looking around. And she kind of leans over. And she's kind of wary of Pyth, so she kind of skips over her a little bit and goes over to Mahi and places it in your claw.
That's an acorn.
It's an acorn.
I'm not really knowledgeable when it comes to the arcane. Is this legitimately just an acorn? What are we supposed to do with this? With all due respect.
Well, in our world, it's symbolism.
Oh,
There's
Yes.
meanings and things and lessons to be learned. No, it's not just an acorn. She leans over, whispers, but when she whispers, actually, it's in her normal voice. It's Griffin. And she says, "It's not an acorn. Redoth gives this to me on occasion if we ever need his assistance. Throw this at a tree, and it will open a path to where he resides in Thundertree. This is how we access him. I do offer some word of caution, however. The last time I spoke with Redoth, he mentioned that the area is, well, there's some unsavory folk in the woods." And she looks over to Pythavin and gives her the eye. Looks back over to Mahi. But they're also a greater threat. I understand Redoth hasn't returned in a few days. So be wary. But good luck. She flips
we
her
will
coin
be
out of her
most cautious.
basket.
We will be most
All right, let's
cautious.
go find a tree. I start walking away.
Cool. Before we leave, I have to ask. Points to the sword. May I ask what you're doing?
You wanted it destroyed, did you not?
Nods head like, yeah, I get it now. Kind of a thing like, that's what you're doing.
Rest assured, we are in the business of destroying things of this sort.
Much
I will see it then.
appreciated. Thank you.
She looks
We'll be
over to
on our way.
Angelo. And she nods.
I wink at her.
It's like, be sure to ask our friend for help on your previous mission.
Yes, I will be sure to do so.
She kind of looks around, kind of whispers a little bit closer to you. If you do find anything, please do the right thing.
I will do my best.
Seek me when you're finished with all of this. organization might have use of someone like yourself.
Of
If you're
course.
interested.
Of course. I will keep that in mind.
And she kind of leans back. All right, well, tomorrow blessings on y'all. You have a great day now.
Tor's like halfway down the street already.
She holds out the basket as you pass.
But
I
she's
give one-
already gone. She left like
Oh,
Yeah,
I,
that's not to you, but for the rest of the
Yeah.
group.
I give her. I put in 2 copper, and I just walk on my way.
Okay. She takes the copper, puts it in her basket, shakes it, looks into it, smiles.
Pyth gives her
Have
like
a good day.
and then follows Tor.
Looks to you. Totally. She does that to you as she walks by.
She goes to walk away, and she's just like,
What a trap.
I'm doing whatever Pyth is doing since that's what I've been doing lately.
She goes like this to you. All right, so
he's gonna go in the direction of Tor and gonna try to find a tree.
There's that one I blasted down a couple days ago.
that was opportunity.
There's actually,
Angela
I
to
think
go to the
there's-
bathroom.
there's a few different trees, I believe.
There are no
trees.
trees specifically in town per se, but
Like outside of town, you start hitting trees.
right as you
There's a
get outside.
grove.
There actually, yes, there is Darren's orchard actually, by the way, but it's further down. So you have to kind of go out and over.
Ooh, apples.
There's also a forest on the other side that is underneath the Tressendar Manor.
Where we went with
Mhm.
Carp,
Yes.
Alderleaf, Rat
Hey, Tor,
Child.
wait up for a second.
Tor's walking towards probably. Oh God, where's the
The,
map? I don't ever know
Honestly,
any.
it would make more sense if you were heading to the Eldermath Orchard. That's actually closer, because all you got to do is.
I mean,
It would be
Yeah, I
close to
gotta-
where you guys are technically, yeah.
Yeah, that's probably where she is heading. To be honest, like right across the town green, like she's cutting across.
You like going in between alleyways and in people's backyards. You're familiar
Yeah.
with it, actually. This is
We've
where
already
you
done
guys,
this one.
Yeah,
we
you had
we
your little
ran this
paper-
route when we
Yeah.
were running from
Yeah.
guard.
You
We're
notice
taking the exact same route we did
You're-
before.
you're passing that same backyard that had that barking dog on it and little kids eating an apple. He's like watching out the window and he sees these people hop over his fence. And he's like,
A dog, you say?
"Mom,
Wave at him as we keep going.
Mahi
Mom."
go- Excuse us. But I imagine to like a kid, it's like the guy not trying to be scary, but it's like accidentally scaring the crap out of a kid. Like, hi, kid.
Mahi has like a Mahi has like a passive intimidation.
Well, children.
Why he's like, shoot.
We just keep making our way through the backyard a little bit faster.
Pipe does not pick up the
Making our
pace.
way
She's like,
downtown,
whatever.
walking fast, walking faster.
So you guys kind of cut across the dirt road. You get to the long dirt road that leads like solely over to Darren's his little ranch area. And the you kind of take a wide berth around it, and you get to where you start seeing the apple trees.
Are we relatively out of town?
Yeah.
Like, okay.
The outskirt. Yeah.
Guys, I would like to speak with all of you for just a moment.
But it is so
mind?
important that we throw this acorn at a tree.
Well, the acorn will have to wait just a moment.
Nothing waits for the acorn.
Acorn. Acorn.
I did not want to share where I was earlier just because I did not know if anyone was listening. But I did speak with Coraline in the hall. And currently, he is under the...
Angelo, I don't mean to interrupt, but I wouldn't consider any place in this town safe if you're holding secrets from Coralin.
Well, then might as well just get it off my chest right now. Under no circumstance are any of you to reveal your keys. Coralin is under the impression that Tor gave me hers.
Well, you don't have a problem with that.
So I just want us to all be on the same page in case something does come up. Now, the reason I told him why I have the key is because if anything happens to the person with the key, I have much more faith that you guys will be able to find Gundren, find the forge, and take down the Black Spider without me. Not that I'm planning on dying, because that is last on my list of plans. It is not even on my to-do list.
I'll be honest,
I'm gonna
you lost
walk
me
up-
when you started to compliment us.
I'm gonna walk up and I'm gonna kick Angela in the shin.
Roll for attack.
Which leg? Which leg are you kicking? Am I right? or
You're-
left?
I'm gonna kick a crippled
Supposedly,
man.
your supposedly uninjured leg. 16.
16. I think
That
that's
hits.
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't do any damage. I have negative
I'm
strength.
gonna
Yeah.
fall to one knee anyways.
I'm going along with it.
What was that
You would
for?
think that maybe there was a reason I told Coralin I had the key. I'm so glad that you have all of these grand plans. But, there's a reason that I also do the things I do. I don't do them at random as much as you apparently think so.
Well, I did it because I didn't want both Pyth and you to die, which right now, it's looking like all of us are inevitably going to.
So what does it matter what order it happens in? Why are you trying to be all valiant? You don't even know us.
I'm not going to have this argument right now.
You apparently wanted to get it all off your chest now before we threw the acorn at the tree. You're the one who started this argument.
Can we
It's
please?
because I didn't know what's going to happen after.
You can never know what's going to happen. But we can plan ahead. What's done is done. Let's go.
What's that? We should go now? Yeah, the acorn says we should go. And
He chucks it in your
He speaks to the great acorn.
I tossed it at a tree.
Mahi's like, magic.
Eh,
Doink.
random
Magic
order,
acorn, go!
I choose you, magic acorn.
Wow.
Abracadabra.
Teleport.
Open sesame.
Right.
I'll have to look at some of these. I'll see what that thing comes from. Okay, so you kind of pick the one of the larger trees. Actually,
I was looking for a larger tree. Yes.
right. So you kind of look for something that's about 5 foot in diameter, and you chuck at it. When the acorn hits, it splits open, and you watch as the tree kind of shrivels and it starts to expand, and you see kind of a almost like a knot hole all of a sudden open up into a doorway at the base of the tree.
Oh, let's get this over with. And he
All right.
He just.
You kind of watch as Mahi goes.
I'm gonna go through next.
Tor kind of follows.
Can Toby fit?
It's a little bit of a squeeze, actually.
he like tries to
You
squeeze
kind of
in there.
bend down and you got your hands.
He goes
on
butt.
the
He goes
side.
He goes butt first. Then
You Winnie the Pooh it for a minute, and then. Or actually,
Wiggle.
who's behind you?
Pyth is pushing my butt.
I am not.
Tavi cheeks
Oh man.
No, no.
there.
No, no.
Oh,
So-
I did
so-
not need
Angelo
that
gets
image.
that lovely duty. Mr. Sir, can you please help Dr. Tavi in aisle 6, please?
Right. I'm like looking over my shoulder.
No.
Pyth and Angela are just kind of looking at each other,
There's
Whoa,
looking
watch
back
your
at
hands.
Tavi.
Both like give his butt one solid kick through the door.
One for keep.
Nice.
Pyth,
All right.
Pyth actually looks back at Angelo now that everyone else has gone through and just... I won't make any promises. I'm terrible at keeping them, but I have no intention of letting you nor anyone else in the group get hurt. And then she's gonna go through the portal.
That worked so well last time, you know, but
Angelo, you are alone.
I'm just gonna say to myself, well, I wish everyone in this group understood that that feeling is mutual. And then I'm gonna hop through.
You watch as the tree behind you closes. And
Hey
that's
guys,
where we'll
we
take
don't
a
have another
break.
acorn.
The last
We don't
words
have
you
another.
hear, the
Wait a
camera
minute, we
pans
don't have another
backwards.
acorn.
You hear Tor goes,
Uh-oh.
guys, we don't have an acorn.
Wait, hold
Okay.
up.
Cool. I gotta go to the bathroom.
All right,
See you guys in a bit.
town hall break time.
Hey,
cool,
town
we-
hall break.
Because bathrooms are part of town hall now.